Hi, Steve Lovestein here with all of our Twist chimneys. I'm a fire certified inspector and a state licensed contractor. We're doing an NFPA industry standard level 2 fireplace inspection today. NFPA.org, NFPA stands for National Fire Protection Association. And we have a one-story Rampart General concrete precast tilt-up fireplace, approximately 40 years old. We need to remember these fireplaces were poured in a factory years ago in big wooden forms. And they would add steel rebar and what's called a calcium chloride additive to speed up the drying or the curing process. They let it dry for 28 days, put on a flatbed truck, drive it out to the job site, and literally throw it off the truck with a crane and tilt it up. And they would move it 5 or 6 times or however many times they needed it to get it to where they're going to build a house around. A lot of times when they tilted it up, they would twist the chimney on uneven ground or just moving it. Concrete's strong, but it has a low tensile strength. If you twist or tweak a chimney like that, it can crack this breastplate up inside. The breastplate's really a weak point on these otherwise very strong fireplaces. The insulation breastplate or the throat right up in here is only 1 or 2 inches thick. Probably 6 out of 10 of these that I inspect, they're cracked up in the insulation breastplate. It's my professional opinion they're cracked from day one. What's the big deal? Well, there's over 100 documented cases of heat going through those cracks in the breastplate. And we need to remember, we literally have wood studs and headers in the wall cavity, and it's so easy for the heat to go through there and catch that wood on fire, so we can't look the other way, can't ignore that. For years we had no city-approved listed repair options. We now have thermocrete ceramic flue sealant to repair it. It's approved by the City of LA, just about every city in Orange County, Carlsbad, Acadia, Encinitas, as well as San Diego and Chula Vista too. So,
do we know how Torrance feels about it?
Yeah, Torrance has given their approval as well too.
Okay, great. So let's see what we're looking at
Let's
here.
take a look up here. First, we want to check the firebox real good. And again, the firebox is very solid. There's a little chance heat transfer is going to go through here. We want to check the firebox and veneer transition for any voids or leaks that may allow the heat to go through. Remember, there's wood studs and headers inside the wall cavity, so it's so important to check. Now, our damper's up inside here. With the Rampart General, it's only secured with 2 concrete nails. A lot of times they'll warp or rust if there's no rain cap on top. We have gas logs. There's no C-clamp. We're supposed to have a permanent chock C-clamp on the damper to keep it permanently open. And looking up inside, we have our insulation breastplate, or right along here. It's usually 1 to 2 inches thick. This one, as you can see, is really cracked and chipped. It's cracked all the way up into the smoke chamber, all the way to where the actual inner flue starts. So this is definitely a defective cracked insulation breastplate and considered a fire hazard. Also a great big void all the way along here as well too. It could allow the heat, smoke, or gas to transfer right up through here. Remember, what's up in here? There's wood studs and headers just right above inside here. And the thing is, it doesn't happen overnight, but over time, whether we burn gas or wood, it gets hot as an oven in here, and the heat, the smoke, and gases can go up inside there and dry out that wood, the wood header, the king studs. And if it's dried out enough, it can pyrolysize and reach a flash point as low as 250 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So we have to repair this. Don't use it. It's definitely a fire hazard.
Okay.
Okay, let's just check already with those cookies. I'm going to just make some arrows here just so we can kind of see how far up that compressor and the sprayer. Oh yeah, it's a piece of cake. Once in a while I have to take the damper out to get up in there, but it's easy, it's reachable.
So I'm looking at this insulation here, and I can see, there's a little bit of a cavity between there.
Big void here, a chip right here, a big chunk missing, but up above, you can see where the crack runs to the very top, almost just to the below the actual terracotta liner. Yeah, we just can't let the heat, smoke, or gases transfer to wood framing inside the wall cavity here.
Over time?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that crack is easily identifiable. And that's typical of these chimneys.
Absolutely. Probably 6 out of 10 of these I see are cracked there, and cracked from day one.
Just that was the weak point when these things were twisted.
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay, we're up here inspecting the exterior of this one-story Rampart General concrete precast fireplace. It's got a terracotta liner. Looking down the liner, there's no shades, there's no cracks, or separations or void. There's a little bit of efflorescence, a little bit of spilling that I'm seeing. So I'm taking a couple digital photos here, and obviously I'm recommending a rain cap spark arrestor on the top. We should have a good rain cap arrestor to keep all the rain out, sparks off the roof, birds and leaves out, bees, etc. The crown on the top is in pretty good shape. A lot of times we'll see cracks. The only job the crown has is to shed the rainwater. We want a good rain cap on top. And you see behind me the antenna. We have to get rid of that. There's no reason to have antennas these days. It will have a tendency to twist with wind loads over time, and it could cause cracking with these precast chimneys, even with masonry rebar reinforced fireplaces as well. So you need to remove that. Get a good rain cap. As you can see, the exterior is in pretty good shape. A lot of times we'll see longitudinal cracking on these fireplaces. I just came from another chimney, and all four sides had longitudinal cracking going all the way down. That's usually from the presence of moisture and the calcium chloride they used when they first manufactured these fireplaces. We get a little rain coming in sometimes from the cracks, and then it has a tendency to aggravate the condition and cause the rebar to further rust and scale. A lot of times we'll see big cracks, and we are allowed to repair those cracks as long as they don't go all the way through the chimney. Usually we'll use a diamond blade grinder, grind out the cracks into the actual rebar. Then we'll use a DeWalt crimp wire wheel to score the rebar. Then we'll use an approved 2-part anchor cement like Rapid Set with a PSI of 8,000 pounds per square inch. That we've had fantastic results over the years. If it's a lot of cracks, we'll re-stucco after we do the repairs, but that's really the best way to repair exterior cracks. We see a lot of exterior cracks on these, and it's usually not earthquake related, but it's the presence of calcium chloride and moisture causing the interior rebar to rust and swell. Hence, they're usually vertical in nature. So it's very important to check for those cracks and see whether or not they go all the way through the inner liner. And this one's actually in pretty good shape on all four sides. We always want to have a good paint job as well too, like we have, because that'll protect the chimney from the exterior environment as well too. The flashing appears to be in good shape.